evening. I'm so excited to speak to you about how to get rid of money blockages. How to get rid of money blockages. Because I don't know how it is in your life, but my relationship to money hasn't always been clean. And there we are already at the important point. We have a relationship with money. And yesterday I was listening to a podcaster called Louis Hose, and he said that he asks always or very often one question, and this question opened already my mind so huge. And then, as you know, I'm a coach, and then I added my coaching practice to this question, and this was just so exciting to me. So now I'm going to share. His question is, if money was a person, how would it be like? If you were in a bar or somewhere and money would come in, how would you feel? How would it be, money? How would it look like? How would you feel in its presence? How would your connection be? How would your contact be, your first contact? How would your relationship be? And if you want, you can pause now the video and already write down or think about this feel inside of you. How would you feel? And I think it is, I've never thought about it. To me, money has always been abstract, and to see it, and of course we have a relationship to everything, and to think about the relationship to money as a person really changed my perspective. And I'm going to tell you now how it is, my relationship. It is like with a relationship to people. I respect people and I respected money as who they are. I feel them, I see them, and I respect them. And I'm not going to connect to them from, I'm like this. I'm not going, if someone wants to connect to me, I receive you with my arms open, and I love connected to people. But maybe I'm so afraid to be rejected that I'm not going out there to connect to people and to yeah. It always happens automatically. I'm not the one who goes to connect to people, because I love to be alone as well. I love to be I love to be without things that I have to do for others. So I love to be, what is this word? Free. I love to be free. That's why I don't want to take responsibility for others. So if they want to connect to me, I receive them with open arms and I would do everything for them. But yeah, I would go there and connect to people from my perspective. And it's the same with money. I felt money there in this room. I wouldn't be very polite. I would be very polite. I would respect money. I feel it as very powerful and very untouchable. Very powerful, very untouchable. And especially it is maybe aware that so many people are hating it. So many people are hating money and talking bad about it, but it doesn't care. It is strong and powerful, and it just doesn't care. And I was afraid then I imagined, what if I would connect over time when it's not up to me to do the first step? And what if I would connect over time with money? Just because we stay for a long time in the same room or in the same house or whatever. And then I was afraid that I could be dependent. I could become dependent to money because of its power, its untouchability, its ability to be untouchable, and its ability to not care about what others think and talk about it. And this to me was such a huge power and such a big embodiment that I was afraid that I would become dependent to this power. That I was afraid that I would need from now money always around me, as a person, to give me those attributes which I think I don't have. So there we are. There we are. Because as a coach, the shadows that we see in others, we have to see them in ourselves to fix the relationship to another person. For example, if I think, this woman over there, this woman neighbor, she's so in competition with other women, and that's what I don't like about her. She's always trying to kick other women away. And if I want to fix this relationship to this neighbor woman, I would have to look at the shadow within me. Where am I pushing other women away, or where I'm not allowing this shadow to be a part of myself? This doesn't mean that I have to live this competitive behavior, but I can accept it as part of myself. This is shadow work. And then there are golden shadows, which means sometimes we project things that are beautiful and powerful onto others, and we don't allow ourselves to be this. That's a shadow as well, but a golden shadow, the opposite of a shadow. And that's what I did with money. So I projected power on money, and the ability to be untouchable, and the ability to stand above others talking badly or thinking badly about me. And when I accept those attributes, those powers within myself, this doesn't mean as well that I always have to live them. But when I accept them within myself, those attributes, I don't need money or another person to incarnate them in my life. So I'm not dependent to the other person or to money to represent this in my life. I can then be with this person or with money, and whenever it leaves my life, I would still have those attributes. I would still be powerful, untouchable, and so on. And I wouldn't be dependent. I was so afraid when I connected myself to money of this dependency. I was so afraid of this dependency, so that I didn't want to connect to money. But when I accept those golden shadows within myself, I can't be dependent. I can be with money without being dependent. And I'm so grateful for this little self-coaching that I gave to myself, and with this for this story imagination around money as a person. For Louis Hose, I'm going to give it, I'm going to write it for you in the description box, his name, so you can find it. Yeah, and I hope it helped you as well. I thank you so much, and good evening.